Hello and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike, and quick video today on a new tool that I've picked up that some of you might not know about, and the further you fall down into this hobby, the more realistic it is that you're going to need that particular tool. We're talking about a Canon Pinion remover. Now, I've got two examples on my bench and we're just going to go through them very quickly in this video. The first one is the Bergeon version, and these are terribly expensive. I think they're something like £70 or more. It is an invaluable tool. With a Canon Pinion removing tool, it just simplifies just pulling it up dead straight, and that way you don't run the risk of slipping, breaking, and certainly breaking the second hand pivot. For many years on my videos here on this channel, I was pulling them off with tweezers quite happily, until one day I fouled and hit the second hand pinion and smashed it off, and then I managed to pick this one up on eBay pretty cheap, and they're quite coveted, put it that way, because no one wants to spend their money on them. That is until now, because good old AliExpress and the Chinese have made a clone, and a pretty decent clone it is, and it's way less than half price of the Bergeon one. So it's suddenly become very affordable for us hobbyists to do the job properly with the correct tool. And if you're into this hobby, then tools are an essential thing, and you end up collecting tools just like I have. I've got a bench full of them, I've got drawers full of them. What you can't see here is I've got a rack full of stuff. It's almost a hobby within a hobby. There's a tool for every procedure, and you want them. Simple as that. So we're just going to cut to the bench, show you these a little bit closer. Then we're going to test them out on a few movements as well. I'll leave a link down below as to where to pick it up. It will be an affiliate link from AliExpress. I get a little tiny kickback, but it's more really just to help you guys should you want to better your toolbox. So let's go to the bench. So now you get a good look at them. This Bergeon one I've got is pretty much an antique. The end here is made out of Bakelite, which is not really a product that you see around anymore, but you know, it is still completely functional. The handle compared to the Chinese one is a lot thinner, a little bit of decorative there as well. Nice and easy to hold. The principle of these is you just push this handle down and you'll see it sort of go up here. Inside, if I can zoom in, there is a little collet. Comes out, grabs it, pulls it up. Really simple and straightforward. This one obviously has been well used, but it still works. I took it apart. It's just a simple spring in here, a ball bearing, and the handle. And you can sort of lift the handle up and take it out and take it all apart to clean it should you want to. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Nothing too special really. So if we bring in the Chinese one, so obviously it's newer. The handle isn't as smooth, but then it hasn't been used for 1,000 years like this one, but it's okay. Obviously you've got the nylon plastic at the end, same principle. There we go. You could argue that the collet on this one is a little bit better because it's bigger or sharper. Now the thing itself does actually come with a spare collet, and I'm assuming this, well, I'm not assuming, I know it's a bigger collet, and that is for bigger Canon pinions, presumably maybe pocket watches. This one works fine on the watches. I haven't quite figured out how to change it. In principle it's the same as this one, where you'd pull the handle up, you can pull that back and it will go in and out, and then everything comes apart. I don't want to do it because the ball bearing will fall out, and while I'm filming it'll end up on the floor no doubt. With this one, in theory it's the same principle. You've just got to pull it back. You can see the ball bearing in there potentially, but I just feel a lot of resistance. It's probably because it's new and it's stiff, and I don't want to force it really. I don't want to break it unnecessarily, because the likelihood of me using this thicker one is pretty remote, to be honest with you. So just letting you know, obviously that's what it comes with. Action is exactly the same. The only difference is it's newer, it's stiffer, it's springier, and for me, I don't like it as much. I can only base it on this one. I haven't got a more modern version one, but this one just has this nice action. It just goes up and down. This clicks, and that click is kind of like it's the spring and the power in the spring. So when you actually put it up, it's a little bit off-putting to me, to be honest with you. And then equally, it won't let go of the cannon pinion until you let go of the trigger. And because it jumps like that, it's a tendency to then potentially fire the cannon pinion out onto your bench. This will probably loosen in time, I'm sure. It probably hasn't got the best quality spring in there, no doubt. But obviously it's doing its purpose and doing its purpose well. So that's the only thing in the whole of this video you're going to find out. That's my only real gripe, is the way it clicks. It's still very well made. This is turned. Weirdly, it's made out of two pieces. Look, this completely unscrews here. And from an engineering point of view, I mean, I guess it must be something to do with the way they've flattened the end to make the profile on the hook there. But yeah, it's just gone to a great extent, isn't it? Turning it down here, putting a thread on, putting internal threads in there to screw on this bit of handle. Couldn't they have just made that out of one solid piece? You know, it does seem a bit strange, but anyway, that's just my brain doing a bit of overtime. Right, so I'm going to bring in a couple of movements. I'm going to try and get the camera as close as I can, and I will demonstrate both for you, really. I've got 4 movements in total, so we'll do 2 on one and 2 on the other, perhaps something like that. So I'm going to start off with the old-fashioned one. I'm doing this a little bit at arm's reach. And so it just goes over like that. The baker light can rest onto the movement to give it some purchase. I'm literally going to press the trigger, and it's going to come up. I've just heard it sort of clump, and there it is. You can see it in the bottom, and I can let it go gently, and it falls out. So I'll replace, well, actually I'll just put another movement in, and we'll then try it with the Chinese one. So I've got lots of spares and dead movements. These have all come out of my little graveyard. This particular one's a Seiko. The last one, I'm not sure what it is. If I see like job lots of just watch movements, I buy them. If they're like 10, 15 pounds, because all of a sudden you end up with balances, parts. A lot of movement parts can be interchangeable with the same sort of calibers, and you can research that and find the part number and see it matches with another movement. And therefore, if you catalogue them in spreadsheets like I have, I've got really anal with it, you can kind of know what you've got in stock at any one time, so you can tend to get yourself out of jail rather than having to rely on eBay. So anyway, I'm waffling. Let's just bring in this. Exactly the same principle. Just going to go over it. You heard that definite click. Cannon pinion is in it, and then if I let go, there we have it. The cannon pinion, weirdly, let's see if I can give you a better zoom, is stuck inside. So that's a first. For a minute I thought it had fired off. I mean, these are dirty, grubby movements as well, to be fair. So it did the job just as well, exactly the same, other than that clicking sort of thing. So I'll try it on one more. Now you may notice I've also got the minute wheel still in some of these. I just didn't want to do a full strip down, to be honest with you. They are, as I say, completely dead movements. So again, just going to go over the top of it, push it down, click, we're out. We've captured it, unclick it, and then that time you can see that it's fired just to here on the desk. And in actual fact, by me letting go of this, I almost had a ricochet and the plastic hit the movement as well. So that is definitely a gripe of mine, but it is also a compromise. If this, I think at time of filming, is about £25 on AliExpress, I will double check on Cousins. I think these are about 67, but I'll put a thing on the screen now with the actual reality of the price of a new one, and then you can make up your own mind as to what you think is best. So there we are. That is the demonstration. I think I've explained it as well as I can. Okay guys, I hope you found that quite useful. Would you go for the Chinese one, or would you save your money and buy the Swiss one? Let me know in the comments, of course. Hopefully some of you found this useful. If you want to see sort of more videos on little tools like this, then let me know. Certainly comparisons with some of the remakes. I mean, I personally like the stuff on AliExpress. I know not everything is great, and I have done an AliExpress video. I'll leave a card up now if you want to go and see that. I think for us hobbyists especially, this hobby is so good, but it can be so overwhelming with just how much things cost. And, you know, I would love to see people like Bergeon or Horrortech make like a hobbyist range. So it's a more budget-friendly range, maybe not as refined a tool, but one that's affordable. They would sell more tools, and ultimately you would eventually upgrade and buy the proper stuff. I think the further you go down the rabbit hole with this hobby, the more you can justify the money you want to spend on a watch. And if you get into sort of repairing and selling, then you can fund your hobby. I mean, my hobby is completely funded by YouTube and my Patreons and stuff like that. And being you know, I like to buy and sell watches myself. So yeah, you know, so AliExpress is the compromise. The Chinese are doing what these brands should be doing, really, I think, and copying stuff, selling it for a fraction of the cost. They realise there's a market. I would like to make them make cleaning machines, for instance, because that's something that everybody wants. I have got a sort of hobbyist cleaning machine solution potentially coming to a video very soon. I'm just working with the people who make it to supply me one, and we'll see if that's going to be any good. Anyway, there we go. Look, thanks very much. Thanks to all my patrons. Their names on the screen. There's links in the description below for where you can pick one of these up if you want to go and look at my Patreon. There's a link there. There's a link to my website, the Facebook group, where you can have lots of lots of conversations. And if you want to buy a watch or some merch from me, then head over to time-tees.com. I'll be back very soon in a new video. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon.